Bruce, tell us about the road ahead for Biden's pledged delegates at the Democratic National Convention to vote for Kamala Harris.
Well, the pledged delegates are now free of any obligation to vote for one candidate or another. But the U.S. Supreme Court has made clear for decades that political parties are entitled to decide how they wish their nominees to be selected. So the Democratic Party could change the rules and force the Biden delegates to vote for anyone he designated, which would be Kamala Harris. But even putting that aside, I do think that at present, there really has surfaced no other viable candidate other than Kamala Harris. All the major gubernatorial possibilities from Michigan, from Pennsylvania, from California have all said we're not interested. The only names that have surfaced are Joe Manchin, a senator from West Virginia, and Marianne Williamson, who's kind of a spiritualist. These are featherweights that are not going to attract any delegates. So I think the Democrats recognize that any kind of fracturing from unity at Chicago next month is going to be devastating to their November chances. And also you need to remember, and this is kind of cuts in the other direction against Kamala Harris, I think many feel that to win this race at this late stage with a new face is like a sprint up Mount Olympus. And the other possible challengers are young. They could wait till 2024, and they don't want an albatross if Trump wins a runaway election.
Bruce, let me interject here a little bit. If Biden is unfit to run for president due to health reasons, how will he run the country for the next 3 months?
Well, Mr. Biden didn't say that he was disabled under the 25th Amendment that made it proper for him to step aside. Now, maybe that may be true. And if he is disabled and the 25th Amendment could apply, that is, a majority of his cabinet would approach the president and ask and pass a resolution saying, hey, you're disabled, the vice president needs to step into your shoes. That issue then would go to Congress that could ratify it or reject it. But I don't think that President Biden, when he withdrew his candidacy for re-election, said, I'm totally unfit, that's why I'm not doing it. Now, that may have been the underlying reason, but he didn't concede that fact. So there's where we are. This is not unprecedented. Woodrow Wilson in 1919, 1920, when he was president, was disabled. He had a stroke for the last 18 months of his presidency. He really was almost non-compos mentis. His wife ran the country, and we survived. And it may be that way. Remember, we have a lot of aides to the president. It's a little bit frightening, however, since we do have a nuclear age now, to think if we don't have a president who's the only one can authorize nuclear weapons or retaliation, is really not capable of knowing what real circumstances are. But you've identified a real problem. But I think we have survived many, many months where it's been obvious that Mr. Biden has been in senescence at least. And he's kind of struggles on. This is not new. It just happened yesterday. I think we'll survive through November.